CC view already checking that those emotes, they are on right upside. There's like a hand there waving. You can use it and you can do different emotes. Some cool ones.
Nice.
Like, yeah.
These work really well with pajamas.
Yeah, exactly. We actually had a party using those and it was so much fun. Hello everyone on the Twitch. So I think it's just a perfect time for us to start. If you are interested, you can join us here in the metaverse. You can create your own custom avatars. As you can see, we have here. Just use the link that's there. Hi, Longnecky family. Awesome to have you there. Hello. Okay, so we will start like today. We are actually doing exhibition with two artists, so it's sort of special. And yeah, welcome here in the Somnium Space Metaverse. We are in the Lakehouse Gallery. So there's actually a lake here. That's unfortunately just in the full VR version. You need to have a full VR client, and like over there, the direction, you get to enjoy a view of a beautiful lake, sunsets, and moon reflecting on it, and all those cool stuff. So it's actually really amazing. That way. And yeah, so that's really cool. You can actually get the full client on the Somnium Space website. So if you are interested, you can download that. And yeah, for sure is worth checking out. And here we are for two artists, as I was saying, Angela Mantilla and CC View, that are going to tell us about them, about their story, how they become artists, and about their art. So behind or in front of you currently there's a couple of pieces from collection of Angela. So it's these ones ending with this crystal palace, and on the other side you can see planet collection and one more artwork over there that are of FCC View. So we will be talking all about those, and if you want to have any questions, feel free to type them into the text chat. We will have them. I will ask them to our artists. So Angela, welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm perfect. Really happy to have you here. We had to postpone it once. I'm really sorry for that, but we are doing it now. So tell us about your story. Where are you coming from, and how did you become an artist?
Well, I'm originally from Colombia, but I'm based in London at the moment. I studied architecture and I did an internship in an architecture firm, but I later realized that I was more into the 3D aspect of architecture, just presenting the projects, creating all these environments. So I focused on this. So now I'm a 3D artist focused on architecture. And I got into NFTs a couple of months ago, starting from March.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to diversify a bit. I went back into drawing that I hadn't done it in years. I've done some more fun, surreal scenes, still attached to architecture. And I've also released some of my photography that I was doing back in university with film photography. So I've been kind of experimenting with all these styles at the moment.
Yeah, so we can see here very different artwork. So from the left side, it's clear architecture, the Crystal Palace. And
Yes.
then we have some lizards here, and then we have something very abstract at the end. So we can see that you are experimenting with a lot of different styles and a lot of different colors, where the Crystal Palace is quite, it's almost like black and white, but in bluish. And
Yeah.
the abstract art is very colorful. So can you tell us about maybe your creative process? Because it may be quite interesting when you are using a lot of different art styles. So tell us about how are you creating the artworks like this?
Okay, so for example, for the Crystal Palace, it was also kind of like a research project because I wanted to bring it back to life. It's a building that used to be in London. It was created during the same time as the Eiffel Tower for a grand world exhibition, but it was destroyed in a fire. So I had to do a lot of research trying to find information about it, old drawings, old photographs. It was built twice because it's like a structure that was able to be taken away and done again. So it was done twice. The information was a bit confusing. So I kind of adapted it in my own way because it couldn't be done exactly. And in this image, I was trying to make it more like a feeling, like being in heaven, like a very ethereal feeling, because it must have been amazing to be there during that time because it was that size. So you can imagine just walking there, seeing all the best technology of the moment. So I was trying to capture that feeling of being in awe, uh, walking inside that building. So when I gathered all the information, I modeled the entire building in 3ds Max, and then I would walk around it and find the perfect position to choose the composition. So I wanted to choose this place in the middle because it's where it feels the tallest. Like you can see most of it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to get it right almost all in 3D. I don't like touching it in Photoshop that much. So I tried to get all the lighting, all the planting, everything in 3D.
Oh.
And then at the end is very little Photoshop, just fixing like to make it look more dark in the edges or focusing more the light in the center, but very little touches. I try to do as much as I can in 3D.
Oh, that's
And for
impressive.
example, that second one, the other
How
blue one
long?
that is all reflective.
Sorry, how long did it
How long?
take? Because it's like so far. Just the research must have taken like so much time, and then the modeling everything to
Yeah,
single detail.
it took a very long time. It started as a university project surrounding the building, studying it. So it was like a couple of months of having that information and being able to do a presentation on it. So I had created some basic images, but they were photorealistic. And years later, looking at them, I didn't like them so much. I felt like they could be reinterpreted into something more surreal.
Mm-hmm.
So I took back the model, I removed all the materials, and I started over to achieve this different feeling. So it was like doing it twice. So overall, a couple of months, but it wasn't in a row.
Yeah. Oh, that's impressive. Is it still available, or had it already sold?
It already sold.
Yeah.
I had it on Foundation, and I tweeted about it, like telling people the whole story about the building because it's a building that I really like. I'm really passionate about it, and it it connected with a fellow artist that is also an architect, and she bought it the same day. She placed a bid like 1 hour after I posted it.
Oh, amazing.
So it now belongs to her.
Amazing. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine. And I'm just checking the profile. So it was 4.22 ETH. Oh, so far it was almost a steal. With it like that much work, and amazing.
It was the same price as my first piece sold, so I guess I wanted to maintain that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it is a bit hard. It's a bit tricky to know how to price them. I'm still learning. But
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
the more you work, the more pieces you have, I guess you can start growing it. But I'm just starting, so I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like I think the key thing is to get some collector base and have it spread. Then just try to get as much money as possible as soon as possible. I think it's more long game, but just I think if someone like really likes it and just looks at how much work there was, and that it's actually, like, for me on first look it looked like a photography of some real place, and just used some filters on top of it. Like that looks that good, you know. That
Thank you very much.
that is like a real place, but it's actually like was a real place, and it's almost like digital I don't know, archaeology or something like that.
Yeah, but imagine that place existed. Like
Yeah,
I still can't believe it.
that's impressive. It's impressive. Okay, yeah. So let's move on to the next one, or to the like creative process, because of the next one, because they are using different techniques. I guess.
The other blue one that is full of vertical lines.
Mm-hmm.
That one was kind of a happy accident. I was also studying a different building, that is the Murcia City Hall in Spain. So I did the entire building just because I was studying it, and it's easier to study a building when you create the 3D model. That way you can slice it, open it, dissect it. Easy. So I was applying the materials, and I applied the metal, but it went everywhere. So I rendered it and I realized, oh, everything ended up with the same material, but I really liked the result, so I kept it. I kept the image.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, that one was less thought about, more happy accident.
Yeah, sometimes it happens like that. I actually had a interview from in this week with the guys doing the glitch art, and he's like hunting for this accident where he's pushing the computer to the limit, and then like something interesting happens, and he captures that. So
Oh wow!
that's actually quite amazing, and it reminds me of what you were saying, that there are these happy accidents that creates something unexpected. It's really cool.
Yeah, it creates unusual results, so sometimes they are welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and this next one, which is most architecture.
Yeah, it's also very architectural. I was doing like a daily project, the 36 days of type.
Mhm.
I guess you know about it. So I took it very seriously about each letter having a meaning. So H, I wanted to do it representing housing, and this is the typical house in London that is like repeated
Yeah,
and with the colorful doors. So I wanted to replicate that, I guess, and create like a space and create a little moment down with the guy coming back home during the evening. So yeah, and this was all 3D again. No post production. I tried to get it as much in 3D because I think I really enjoyed that part. I really enjoyed the modeling of it.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, you should be modeling something in the metaverse. I think it would be really cool to actually have maybe a model like this and have it like instead of this gallery, and be inside.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. It would be a bit heavy for the metaverse, I think.
Yeah, I guess you would have to make it a lower poly, but
Yeah.
yeah, because
I've
yeah.
dipped my toes a bit on that.
Oh, really?
I've been working with Cyber on Cyber. I don't know if
Oh,
you know
yeah,
about them.
yeah. The gallery, yeah. I saw actually the one that you created. It was inspired by the
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, It looks amazing.
No,
Oh,
it's like really sci-fi. It's like a
oh,
sci-fi warehouse.
yeah. Also, I messed up in my head. Somehow I connected just different things. But yeah, I remember you were posting it, and I was like, yeah, this looks really cool because yeah, there
And it
are
was,
different galleries on Cybers, and yeah, this one
yes.
look really nice.
No, and it was quite a learning experience because it's very different doing a 3D model for an image than doing a 3D model to actually walk inside it. Very, very different process.
So what's different on it?
Well, when you're doing it for the image, you can do whatever you want. You can add as much geometry, like you can go crazy because all you want is the end result.
Mhm.
All you want is how you see it rendered. It doesn't matter if it's heavy.
Yeah.
But for the metaverse, you really have to think about it, and every decision you make will cost memory to the program. So you have to think everything minimal. It has to look good, but it also has to be able to run on the web and on VR.
Yeah.
So I really had to strip that. Like I got too excited. I made a very detailed space, and then I had to strip it down until it was able to run. So it's just a different way of doing things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess also maybe like the utility of the space might be different because it has to be accessible, and you have to think about how the space will be used.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually, Older here is building in the metaverse as well. So also making both the 3D objects and avatars. So it's pretty cool to
Nice.
have him here. Yeah, and on this picture, you can. It's actually first time when I saw the person there, as you were saying, someone coming back home in the evening. So it's a nice touch. It's cool.
And the other one, the lizards, it's part of the same project of the letters. So I wanted to give a rendition to Gaudi
Mm-hmm.
and the way he uses those tiles, those colorful tiles, and you see all over Barcelona those kind of lizards. It seems like it was his favorite animal. He would put it everywhere. So it was kind of a rendition to him and his style. So I was able to find a good lizard model because I don't know how to model animals, but I had to rig it and make it go around that shape to be able to give the G.
So those are actually rigged, and you could use them for animations and stuff.
Yeah, it's a very basic rig. They're just like trained to go around that line. So I did a little animation of it,
Ah,
and it's an NFT, but it's inside a blind box. So
yeah.
this is just like the still version of it, and I
Right.
actually prefer the still because you can appreciate the details more.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. I guess it works like that. But it still must be really cool to have this like stone-like lizard actually moving.
Yeah.
So it's like statue moving. Reminds me of this Harry Potter scene at the end of the last movie, and the statues are like moving and going. This is actually really nicely textured in this artistic mosaic. Wow. Amazing, amazing, really cool.
Thank you.
And the last one, which is super different than everything else, maybe like it's actually sort of going nicely from the previous one, like the mosaic, but it's not mosaic. It's just have similar like texture, or
Yeah.
just a little bit similar feel, but it's very different.
But yeah, I never saw that connection, but it does feel a bit like similar to the ceramic.
Yeah. So tell us about that.
These ones are. So I used to make these kind of drawings like as a way to relax back in school. back in middle school and high school, and I was drawing them everywhere, like doodles, just in all the notebooks or even on my classmates' skin, like tattoos. It was just like a hobby, and I could just draw and draw for hours and get lost in it. And recently, I picked it up again, and I started doing them. I just do them in paper with pen, but I do all the coloring and all the texturing in Photoshop to give it more life, I guess.
Mhm.
So yeah, and I love the way you've added them here in the gallery. They look really interesting. They look a lot better.
Yeah, because I actually have had here before the texture of Not Art Club logo, and
Okay.
I was so it was everywhere. It was even more than now. There was a party, so I just put it everywhere, and it actually looks really nice. The logo as a texture, even if it was like
Yeah, it
deleted in
does.
different ways, because it's very colorful. It's like a rainbow, so it looked very good for the party. And then I was thinking, like this one, maybe it would actually work instead of that. And it does. So you can see it
It
everywhere.
does. It really does.
Yeah, so another happy accident.
Yes, kind of. I was kind of like, I took the drawing and I was playing with it. So it is very experimental, this piece, I could say. And actually, the piece that I did for NAC, one of the 100 pieces, is in this style as well. So I guess you'll see that soon.
Yeah. Yeah, you can actually see for the people that are looking on Twitch, there is the party, and we had the whole 100 piece there in the background, and also DJ was using it as a background. So you can check it out, and maybe you will be able to find the one that Angela is talking about. So it's sort of treasure hunt.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, this is really amazing. We were actually talking regarding this texture that the art can actually have some utility, especially when we are talking about virtual worlds and digital economy, where you can possibly use these as a texture for a t-shirt. Like imagine having it on this guy. That would be super cool. Or
Yeah.
there are a lot of
It
different
would
ways.
be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
As a form of digital fashion. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, maybe you can partner with some avatar creator and just try it with some avatar. Might be cool. Maybe just like experiment.
Yeah, even as an experiment, I'm gonna do some research, try to
Yeah.
find a way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really cool. So far, maybe like at this point, because we are doing this in a little bit different way, sort of as well as an experiment. So, is there anything that you would like to tell the viewers about your art or about yourself that you feel that's important? Because I don't want to make it too long. We have two artists and experimenting with the different format.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, if,
You wouldn't.
yeah, perfect, perfect. Yeah, we can do it again with some longer exhibition in the future because
Okay.
I can see that like you are experimenting in a lot of different ways, and I think in maybe a couple of months there will be like just very different progression. I'm curious into which direction we are going to go, if it will be more like the architecture, or if it's going to be more abstract, or if it's going to be some clever designs as we have in the middle.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. We'll see what happens.
Maybe what's in the like closer future? Do you have some plans for some cool projects you would like to share?
Somewhat?
Some cool projects or something that you are working on.
No, for now, I think I am focusing a bit more on the metaverse, working on more galleries,
Mhm.
because I think it's a really interesting use. I think it's a really interesting way of using my skills as a 3D artist. So I think for now I'm gonna focus a bit more on that and have the art in a second, like in a second space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
So I'll see how it goes with the metaverse.
Yeah, amazing. And where can people reach you the best if they have some question, or if they want to just see your art or what you are working on right now?
On Twitter, it's the social media that I use the most. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Mantilla_Angie. I guess I can write it.
Yeah, it's actually a name on the Twitch, so you can just copy it, and then when I will be putting this video on YouTube, you can go down and it will be in the description. For the people here in the gallery, Ultra Art, you can see it in the text chat. So
Yeah, and if
sure.
anyone has any questions or they want to reach me, you can. My messages are open.
Perfect. Yeah, so for sure, give Angie a follow, because I think there's a lot of interesting stuff going on there, and it will be really cool to look at her journey in the art space, in the metaverse, and all around in art. Cool. Yeah, I
Thank
see
you.
you, love it. So that's amazing. And let's move on to the second part of the exhibition for the FCC view. It's actually let's learn if I'm saying it right, or what's the correct pronunciation of his of his nickname.
Well, it is FCC view. Although there is a running joke around, because we started some Twitter spaces a while back, a couple of weeks back, with a friend T3D, and basically, yeah, it gets read as view most of the time.
Oh, cool. It's interesting how it turns out sometimes. Okay, so let's head to the other side of the gallery, to your artworks, and yeah, let's talk about them. Cool. So FCC view, where are you coming from, and how did you become an artist? Hello, can you hear me? Oh, yeah, just Angie, you can hear me? Ultra Art, you can hear me? Test. Yeah, or maybe it's on my side. Yeah. Let's reboot it, and let's see. Yeah, hello. Hey, is it working now?
That's me typing. Can
Yeah,
you hear
yeah.
my voice?
Yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it.
Okay, cool. So it's just artifact that we can't hear.
Oh, so it's on my side, probably.
Sorry about the typing.
Yeah, no worries. Let me check. This is working. So this should be working, but it's not for some reason.
Shall I just refresh the browser? I don't know. Maybe you should refresh the browser.
Let me see. It's working. So let's see. Let's see. Okay. Is it working now?
Shower. Perfect pre-shower dance.
Okay, I guess you guys can hear me, right?
Artific. Is Artific or Artific?
It's
One for Artific, two for Artific.
it's just short, but yeah. So far, you guys can't hear me, right?
Okay.
It's just not working.
Twitter
Right?
messages.
Okay, so far, yeah, for some reason, this isn't
Okay,
this isn't
Artific.
working. So how we do that? Let's maybe use different browser.
I can hear you. Also, I can.
Let's use a different browser. Okay, sorry guys, some technical trouble. Web. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hello viewers. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I hope it's going to work. Test. Okay. Hello, microphone. Okay. It's working.
Yo, hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, something went wrong. I don't know what. Sorry for that. Hi, Wilson. Okay, so well, you are lucky I had some trouble because I know you get to hear everything that FCC View has to say. So
Good.
That's cool. So tell us about where are you coming from and how did you become an artist?
All right, cool. So I'm Italian, as you may or may not get from my accent. However, I live in England, and I've been living here for the past 7 years. And to answer how I became an artist, like, okay, I make digital art. I've been making digital art for the past 16 years.
Wow.
However, I don't think I'm an artist per se because that's not my profession. You see, I've always done it as a hobby. Always done it without wanting money out of it because I never had the time to actually make it a profession. You know, you move away from home, you need to pay bills and stuff. So it's always been a side hobby. But then I'm a developer in my actual career. So I've been a developer for many years, which is also becoming very interesting in the space, being a developer, because a lot of opportunities are opening up. So that's also fun. But yeah, Photoshop, digital art, that's always been a big passion of mine. Those are all composites. There is some element of matte painting in it. But that's about it. I can't draw, for instance.
Yeah, well, everyone has their own talents. Yeah.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, to be fair, in my opinion, composites, the same technique that I'm using for these is the original digital art, because people were doing those to begin with. And then, of course, it evolved to what it is now, which is inclusive for every single form of art, which is amazing. And I mean it when I say every single one, because you can sculpt and then print, and that sculpture is not, it's not digital art anymore, is it?
Yeah. Okay, so that's really cool. So can you tell us more about your creative process, how you create them,
Okay.
in a little bit more detail?
Sure. So as you can see, there are 4 of my 5 planets here, and I'm mentioning this because this is a collection. So the way I work is I find a concept, because to me the concept is very strong and important in anything I do, and then I work around that idea and make it visually appealing, or at least for my taste. Let's put it that way. These are all locations for my Dungeons and Dragons campaign, because I'm also a big nerd.
Okay, I dig that. I was actually just playing one adventure today, so
amazing!
I'm all into that.
No, basically, I have a campaign that I created a couple of years ago. I have some friends playing in it, and it's called Isabel's Bridge, which is, funnily enough, also the final representation of this collection, which is the artwork that's not showcasing here, and we'll get into that later. But in Isabel's Bridge, you have 5 planets, which are the 5 hells, and basically the party starts, they all die straight away off the bat, no chance to survive, and they end up in the afterlife when they're given a quest. But yeah, they're not heroes; they're just normal people. And then yeah, it's complex, but basically, this is a representation of a certain location on every one of those 5 planets. And that's the creative process around these ones. Usually I also dig into personal experiences, into politics sometimes, because I like to make something that's a bit aggressive towards something I disagree with, or religion as well. Sometimes I like to poke the bear a bit. So yeah, I have some other kind of artwork that are a bit more concept focused, in a sense. There is more of a deeper meaning behind them, but they probably not as visually appealing, again, personally, than these ones.
Yeah, I think it's a important sort of role of many artists. It's a sort of way how to communicate what's wrong in the society in a way that's like a little bit hidden.
Yeah, 100%. It's spreading awareness, isn't it? And
Yeah.
we have a medium to do so. We should do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually much closer to people maybe from like Western Europe or Eastern Europe, where like Czech Republic was part of USSR. So when we wanted to protest, we had to do it in some like not obvious way. So
Exactly.
so it was usually in art in some way. So
Yeah, or satire, or a funny poem, or a song, or anything that again pokes the bear. Just to it creates awareness. It makes you feel smarter because you understand the concept, and you are suddenly aware of something, and you want to suddenly spread to everybody because you understood it and you're part of it and you agree with it. No, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant way of communicating something. 100%.
Okay, amazing. And can you tell us how you create these artworks? So we have the inspiration, but then the second part is actually the execution, which I think is the harder part of the process.
Well, it's the part that takes the most amount of time, if you will.
Yes. That's better way how to say it.
Yeah. These are all made with Photoshop, and as I said earlier, they're composites. So basically, what I do is by the way, I think it's composites, and I've been saying it wrong for the past 10 minutes. What you do is finding some stock images, and for everyone hearing, please be careful about what stock images you find, because you want to be careful about copyrights if you're selling them. If you're just putting them online, it doesn't really matter. But if you're selling something, always make sure that they're copyright free, or you're paying for them, or so that there is no problem in the future. Especially in the NFT, the community is very not forgiving about this kind of stuff. So you find the stock images that could work in an artwork. So you look for mountains for landscape, you look for elements that you want. You can see I use statues a lot, so you look for statues that can fit my ideas, and then you open Photoshop and you merge them together, making sure lighting is correct, shadows. As you can see, I also like to use water reflexes a lot, and those are just a flipped image manipulated in a way so it looks like water. On the one on the left is a bit more artistic. On the one on the right, I tried to keep it a bit more realistic. But then again, if you look for perfect realism. You either do it 100% correctly or it's going to look weird. So I tend to just go for fantasy and bright colors and yeah. So that's the process. The technique comes from learning how to use Photoshop, and the only suggestion I can give would be to practice and practice and practice. It just takes years to master something as complex as Photoshop, because it's easy to merge two images quickly. It's a bit harder when you need to be careful about other kind of elements like depth, flow of the image, composite triangles, lighting and shadows, and all these elements. Your project ends up being hundreds of layers, and you see, it takes time and patience.
Oh, hundreds of layers. That's brutal. I was like maybe working with like 20 doing like invitation or something like that. But 100, how do you like?
Well, you group them.
Yeah.
Rename the groups at least. Some people rename every single layer. I don't do that because I'm lazy, but I do group them always, trying to keep the project as clean as I can, because it does get mad at times. But later I'll ask you, which one do you think has the highest amount of layers? And you'd be surprised, because yeah, layer, some others way over that.
Oh, that's really cool. It's really cool. Just gives people, I think, a little bit the impression of like how much work is there, how many steps, as the number of layers there. Really cool. But we have here one more picture, actually, one more artwork that's not part of the Five Planet collection. So maybe we can move there. It's close to the palace, Crystal Palace, and let's talk about that one.
I'm trying to follow you and stay as close as possible so that the audio doesn't die. Right. So this is post 19. This happened because I got verified on Rarible, and I was very excited about it. And I promised people I would do a series of conceptual artworks, and I've done 3, to be honest. I've done one that's called Free Will, that sold. Then I've done another one that was called Sacrifice, which was for a giveaway that I did a while back. And then I've done this post 19, which was just a personal sale, to be honest, because I wanted to sell at least one of them for my floor price, because the other one I sold it for cheaper, because I just wanted this collection to be affordable, because my prices are fairly high. This one didn't sell yet, and to be fair, that kind of turned out to be a blessing. I'll tell you later why. So this is basically I was just frustrated about being locked at home during COVID. So I was just thinking out of the whole, no worries, in a bit we're going to expand your bubbles, kind of like that. So it's just a little silly.
That's cool.
So that's London in a bubble, because I live in England, and you can see all these people slowly merging into that big bubble, which it's how, this is called. We are make sure to stay within your bubble. So it's like, all right, cool. What if the bubble was the whole city then? And people were all in little bubbles until they got to that final destination where they can all be together. And it was just a moment of random creativity. This one, While the Planets took me about a couple of weeks to make for each artwork, this one was a bit quicker. This one took me a couple of days. It's just a total of 4 hours work. It's just a quicker one, but I really like the way it turned out. So I thought it would be cool for this showcase, and also it still keeps a very similar vibe to the other 4.
Yeah, and like really futuristic one. So it really looks like some sort of like energy shield or something like that.
Yes, yeah. They're soap bubbles, by the way, if anyone was wondering. I just took I took stock images of soap bubbles. Then I tried to.
Well, yeah, they are cool. They are cool.
Thank you.
If they wouldn't
Yeah,
be
it's a
cool,
really
like,
nice image.
yeah, people
Thank
would kids wouldn't play with it if they wouldn't be cool. Like kids are the ultimate judges of what's cool and what's not. So,
Yeah, exactly. So this artwork actually is now for sale. Sorry, I zoomed out by mistake. This artwork is now for sale, and it's basically a part of. There are 4 of us who are giving an artwork away to help Cynthia, a friend of us who needs an operation. And so basically all the money earned from the sales are gonna go straight to her. As soon as I get paid, I'll send them back there. So there are 4 artworks for sale and 1 already sold. So hopefully this will sell as well, and it's gonna give her a bit of breathing space, because she these operations get extremely expensive and it's life-threatening. So we're trying to help.
oh, this is really nice. This is really nice. So you can actually get wonderful artwork and help someone.
No, you just, just I'll try to send the Ethereum, because I felt like it was going to be a nice way to help out, and hopefully more of us are going to join this thing and spread a bit more of a voice, so that they get sold, and
absolutely.
we can raise some money for a good cause.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a very nice cause.
Thanks. It is. I really think so too. But yeah, so this one originally was going to be sold. I put this on sale 2 months ago, and but I didn't advertise it as well, I guess. So now we're pushing it a bit more, and now that my floor is a bit higher too, that hopefully will help.
Cool. So maybe the video will help. So for sure.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful cause, and I like how it's sort of started with artists supporting other artists from sales, and now I hear more and more often that the sales are used for some other good cause outside of NFT
beautiful.
and art space.
It's funny because this space is full of course, it's full of investors, but it's also full of artists, and we all know that artists are generally and stereotypically very sensitive people. So you see it in the space. You see how nice everybody is to each other, and genuinely nice, and that's because we old friends. We all want to help each other, for sure. So I really like them. Graphic digital art communities have always been a very toxic environment for years, and I've been part of so many, and there was always a flame or discussion or something going wrong, and this is not happening that much in this space. There's just a couple of trolls, but those are everywhere in the internet, to be honest. You see this a bit more on these generative drops. You see a lot of people fighting, and but I feel like that's a different space, and that's going to differentiate a bit. Full disclosure, I'm investing in some of them because there is still artists behind the projects, there is developers behind the project, and I'm a developer, and some of them look really cool. So I think it's a good investment and a good way of either holding something that looks cool and might be valuable in the future, or just flip it straight away and make some Ethereum if you know how to do it. But yeah, aside from that community, the NFT community in general is beautiful people, very wholesome.
Yeah. For most of the people I know from the community are super supportive of other artists. There's it's actually probably like no gatekeeping that's often seen in the traditional art world, as it's difficult to get in for both the collectors and artists. It's more the opposite way. Everyone's like very welcoming, and it seems that it's because of this like switch of the mentality. That's it's not that I'm competing with everyone else, but like there's enough for everyone, so it's just about creation.
Yes, it's true. There is not much competition. I do believe that some healthy competition is some competition is healthy, and I would like to see some more contests, for instance, happening, so that we don't just make these artwork to mint them, but also to enjoy, as it was been more in the past before NFT boomed. Because NFT has been a thing for a very long time already, but it boomed recently, and I just wish there were more competition. There is Orphan Crypto on Twitter, and it does a competition weekly now, and it's a contest. And last week I joined, and I had so much fun because it was just I just made a feed for the whole sake of joining a competition with almost like with there was a reward, but that wasn't the reason why people are joining. It's because it's fun to compete, and it's fun to compete between friends. So I'd like to see more of that. More
That's nice.
more healthy rivalries. Rivalries? I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, I was
healthy.
actually, I'm working with this other guy, Lakehouse, and he's doing guys like sort of competitions for musicians. So he creates a challenge, and then he plays the submitted tracks of different artists, and just they talk it together on the stream, and sort of give each other feedback, maybe some ideas, and so on. I was thinking doing something like that for visual arts. So maybe this is a good time to bring that idea to life.
Yes, and I'm happy to help out. And I'm going to do something very similar on Twitter Spaces with T3D, and the idea is going to be to give constructive criticism that you don't see very often in the space, because people are so nice that they're gonna take it perfect, and sometimes it's not, and there is nothing wrong in saying that it's not, if you can help someone else.
Yeah, sometimes people are too nice. Yeah,
I agree.
I've seen that.
I'd rather someone being truthful to me and telling me what I can improve, because sometimes I know that I've done something that is not right in my artwork, and I wish someone would tell me rather than telling me it's amazing and then I mint it, right? And then it's not gonna sell because maybe it wasn't visually as appealing as it should have been. Sorry for the aggressive typing, by the way. My computer went to sleep. I had to put a password quickly.
Right, no worries. Yeah, so far, when I joined the space, we were actually doing something like this as a simple threads on Twitter with Denny. I gave possible, and we were asking people to submit their stuff and would give them the criticism. Also, I'm actually doing that on Discord with one architect and sort of curator in the art space, and people put their art, and he's giving them the feedback. So usually in a constructive way, but sometimes he just doesn't like it, so I tell them what they maybe could improve. And it's actually because it's going on for like more than a month now, maybe like 2 months. So far there are actually people that are like keep submitting stuff, and you can see the progression, and he can comment on the progress and so on. So it's a wonderful idea.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I really like hearing about that, because we need more of that. So you're doing something great there.
Yeah, well, we can join up the forces and do it in some bigger way, so it's not just smaller things. Okay,
Yeah,
so since we are running out of time, so where can people reach you? Where can they find you if they have maybe some question, or want to participate in the Twitter spaces that you mentioned that you will be creating, or just want to buy some of your art? Oh, yeah. So, you lost it. Where can they reach you? I think we can still hear you. Let's see if he can make it. Yeah, so I will do it for him. So the Twitter is FCC view. You can see it on the description. I think from there you should be able to get to most of his links. Also, I will put all of his links and all of links of angy to the description of the YouTube video if you are looking there. If you like what you are seeing, give us a follow. Make a comment if you maybe want to ask something, or if you have some idea on improvement, or you just like it. So let us know that you like it. It's always good to get some feedback, both positive and negative. Yeah, and you can see here on for the people here in the gallery is the FCC view, and yeah, yeah, he's coming there. So we are actually at the end. So let's do some party. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Artific.
Yeah. So everyone, thank you for watching. Yeah, I love this. This was wonderful art. Wonderful talking to you both. And yeah. So see you next time. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.